اسمي عادل حسن محمد زورب.
The man speaking is 38 years old, and his name is Adel Assab Zorb. Adel is married, has got 6 sons, and lives together with his family in a house with just 2 rooms in the refugee camp of Tarha Sultan in the Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip is one of the most populated areas in the world. More than 1.6 million people are sealed into 140 square kilometers. 44% of Gaza inhabitants suffers of food insecurity, 34% is unemployed, and 80% depends on humanitarian aid. Adel Assab Zorb is one of the many beneficiaries of a project named Work for Hope and carried out by the Italian NGO COOPI. Thanks to the economic support of the ECO, the European Commission's Humanitarian Aid Department. But what exactly Work for Hope and where is it run? Work for Hope is carried out in the occupied Palestinian territories since 2002 in Jerusalem and West Bank and since 2006 in the Gaza Strip, and its so-called Cash for Work project.
The philosophy behind this intervention is to give an emergency response to the people touched by this crisis. It's an intervention which aims to improve life conditions of the beneficiaries through injecting cash flow in the community. Cash for Work is a project that gives money to the people in order to make some works in benefit to the community.
What is the Cash for Work intervention really about? For example, it creates temporary job opportunities. It involves breadwinners and communities in order to improve their life conditions and the quality of them. We cannot forget that the aim of the Cash for Work project is to provide basic assistance or better food assistance, as that provided by COOPI and European Commission to Adel Assab Zorb, for example. Adel has been working for 2 months with his cart and donkey, so he contributed to make his village cleaner.
يعني طول حياتي شقى وتعب. أنا يعني الشهادة لله أول مكان قالوا لي أصحابي فيه تقديم طلبات وظائف تبع البلدية. فرحت وقدمت الورق عند الدكتور عزمي أبو مر على أساس إن احنا نقدم لطلبات مؤسسة كوبي.
The civilian population that resides in Gaza Strip, West Bank and East Jerusalem has suffered several decades of conflict and occupation. Palestinians are subjected to everyday prohibitions, blockades and restrictions that have been imposed by the Israeli government. It causes heavy limitation to the freedom of movement, and it has got a serious and negative impact upon all aspects of their lives. The prohibitions and restrictions imposed by the Israeli government increase impoverishment and vulnerability of Palestinian communities within the occupied Palestinian territories. They undermine economic growth, they affect unemployment index, they limit access to basic services such as health, food, education and housing. Besides, the prohibition and the restriction imposed by Israeli often obstruct humanitarian and development agencies from delivering optimal and sustainable programs. COOPI and ECO identified carefully the villages that are beneficiaries of the Work for Hope project by giving priority to those communities settled in the Gaza Strip or in the so-called Area C.
One of the first elements that we took into the consideration in order to select the communities was their geopolitical position in the Palestinian territories. For instance, we gave priority to those communities located in those areas under Israeli control, those areas named Area C.
Area C is under full Israeli control, Area C includes over 60% of the entire West Bank. The majority of the pasture and fertile lands of the West Bank, Jordan Valley included, belong to Area C. Life is not easy in this land. Many Palestinians are driven away from their homes because of demolitions, evictions, and violence with the colonists. In their turn, the Israeli colonists continue to build new settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, so that their amount goes beyond the 500,000 people. Fayez Fersan is 26 years old and is a shepherd in the Kirbet Tana, a village in the north of the West Bank. Almost 30 shepherds' families live in Kirbet Tana. Here, you can't build. You can live in tents, and whenever the tents are destroyed, the shepherds take shelters in the caves.
متجوز عندي بنت عمري 26 سنة 26 وضحنا في الحالة هنا لا بخلونا اليوم نشتغل ولا خلينا واحد يسوي شغل مثل خليك بهدوا نزول وبهدوا البيوت.
How do the Cash for Work project led by COOPI and funded by the European Community really work in the West Bank and Gaza Strip? First of all, it's important to underline that the Cash for Work is useful to alleviate poverty among the Palestinian families, to enhance their income as well as their life conditions. In particular, the Cash for Work program aims to guarantee economic access to food and livelihoods for the vulnerable communities. This objective can be accomplished by providing short-term employment and emergency cash assistance to extremely poor families. As the one of Haimanash Sawish, age 40, who lives in Gaza and has to maintain his parents as well as his 6 sons. Thanks to COOPI and ECO, Ayman had a new job, collecting garbage for the municipality.
وانا في يوم من الايام بقيت اعمل في البلوك اتصل علي مدير مؤسسه كوبي على انه طالعيت لي دوره في العمل فاجى زارني في البيت فلقى حالتي الماديه والسكن تعبان فقال لي تشتغل في جمع النفايات قلت له بشتغل قال لي في البلديه عن طريق مؤسسه كوبي قلت له بشتغل قال لي طيب بكره بتيجي الساعه 6 الصبح.
The Cash for Work activities carried out by COOPI and ECO offer temporary jobs to thousands of unemployed Palestinians. That's not all. The Cash for Work aims also to deliver essential public services, including education, health, sanitation, and solid waste. In addition, the Cash for Work acts to improve basic infrastructures like children playgrounds, road maintenance, cistern rehabilitation for rainwater collection, and renovation of old buildings and village antiquities. In the meantime, at Al-Jiflik, a village in Area C, not so far from the Jordan Valley, the worker Abbas Atavne is building with some other colleagues a new house for the municipality.
هذا مشروع كويس ومليح يعني شغل عدد كبير من العمال واستفاد عدد كبير من العمال والمبنى هذا مستفيد منه في المستقبل لأي شيء لصحة لروضة لأي شيء يعني.
Access to water is one of the main problems of the rural Palestinian communities. Homamad is a Bedouin woman who lives with her husband in the vast area of Al Maleh. Her tent is Spartan. COOPI and the ECO helped Hamad and her family to rehabilitate a water source once unusable and now precious source of life.
جوزي كان يشتغل في العين في المي كانت هسه المي مقطوعة هسه المي أحسن تلبكة المي للشغل للغسيل للغنم لشغل البيت للتنظيف كل شيء هي المي الحياة. طيب حبيبي كنا نجيب مي من عين البيضة، هسه المي متوفرة عنا. مشروع كوبي. شكرا لكم. مشروع كوبي.
In the remote Palestinian countryside, water costs a lot, up to 70 shekels per cubic meter, almost 15 euros. Often, shepherds cannot afford such amount of money. Also, the cost on transport has to be added to this amount. Roads that lead, for instance, to a village like Kibbert al-Tawel are long, windy, and with no asphalt. This is the reason why COOPI and ECO rehabilitate 12 tanks, extremely necessary for collecting rainwater. Basim Jaber Bani Salim, a 50-year-old shepherd, tells his experience.
وكنا نسكن في المنطقة الشرقية اللي هي مجاورة لغور الأردن، والجيش الإسرائيلي ظل يطرد فينا لمنا وصلنا للمكان هذا للخربة. فقامت مشكورة مؤسسة كوبي في تأهيل 12 بير من ما سد رمق المزارع، وهذه الكمية هي كمية بسيطة من عدد الآبار الموجودة. في آبار بعد بدها تأهيل وتظبيط لهذا الشيء، وإحنا شاكرين ونتمنى من المزيد من المشاريع اللي بيقدموها.
It's important to underline that the Work for Hope project became reality thanks to the partnership between COOPI and ECO, the European Commission, started in 2002 in Palestine. The following year, in 2003, after the Palestinian kamikaze attacks in West Bank, Israeli began to build the so-called barrier of separation. The barrier has reduced the access of thousands of Palestinians to workplaces and essential services. It has been dividing neighborhoods, suburbs, and families from each other. From 2003 to 2011, the barrier caused a reduction of 12% of Palestinian territories and land expropriation of 28,000 inhabitants.
Work for Hope is also a communication opportunity and a consciousness building thanks to photo reportage, video interview, and website. We think that Work for Hope is not just a project about money, but it's a project about hope.